The next bit is the hearth board. There isn't much you have to do with the hearth board. I'm just going to bevel off these edges so they're not quite so sharp. Let's do that first. Okay, I've just tidied up the ends a bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spindle and I'm going to put it on the hearth board. I'm going to look straight down the spindle, and what I want is pretty much the edge of my spindle to be lined up with the edge of my hearth board. Now, some people will say that it's better to have the spindle a little bit farther into the wood when you're spinning it, or some will say it's better to have it overhang a bit. What I've found is that yes, overhanging is really good, but I've found that if I set it up so that it overhangs, there's too much of a risk that especially as I'm burning in the hole, that it will tend to drift towards the edge of the hearth board, and if it does that too much, it just kind of falls out when you rotate the spindle too much and you're actually trying to create your ember. So I will line everything up so that the edge of the spindle is on the edge of the hearth board, and I find that's really a safe way of doing it and works out really well. So what I'm going to do is put this so you can see it. I'm going to line up the edge of the spindle with the edge of the hearth board. That's about right there. I'm just going to press down with the spindle, and it's left just this tiny mark, this little divot here, and that is where I want the center. Yeah, that's where I want the center of my spindle to rotate. I'm going to take my knife and form a little divot there. When you're doing this kind of a cut, it's really important to be resting your work on something solid. So I'm just going to start this by rotating the point right around like this. I'm just going to make it wider as I go. Putting a lot less pressure on the knife now. I'm just rotating it. I want to make that divot even all the way around as best as I can. What I'm trying to get rid of are little divots within, little ridges within the divot, because I want that to be nice and smooth, so that when it first starts to seat, it seats evenly and smoothly. Okay, so there's my divot. It's it holds the center of my index finger really well. It's about the size of it. And in the center, just because of the way I was working with my knife, it's a little bit deeper. I'm just going to check how that fits with my spindle. That's good. It's really good. It's a little bit farther than, just by a millimeter. It's a little bit in from the edge by a millimeter, but that's good. I'd rather have it in just a little bit far than have it drift out, because my experience when it drifts out isn't very good. Good. Okay. Yeah, like that. It's very good. Okay. Now onto the next bit. So the start of my hearth board is done. My spindle's done. Now onto the next bit. Fantastic. The sun's just come out. I'm afraid I might get rained on here. Now what I've just gotten is a bit of holly, and I got it from right underneath the holly tree. So it is green, but I've got it from right underneath the holly tree, where it's thinning out that undergrowth just a little bit, so it's not going to hurt the tree. Just going to take off the side branches, and then I'll describe the branch because there's a couple things that are really important here. Okay, so this is going to be my bow. What I've discovered is that when you're creating a bow for your bow drill, it's not particularly important at all for the bow to be curved, to be arced. You can do it with a perfectly straight bow, and I've had possibly even more success with straight bows. Morris Kahansky actually says that the bow should be straight. I've done it with a trekking pole, fantastic results. And obviously those aren't bowed. But there's two things about this. One is there's a fork, and that's how I can attach one end of my string, my cordage. The other thing is the length. It is about, it's actually just a little bit longer than my arm. So this is the right size bow for me. I'm just going to take some cordage, and the reason why I've got this fork is I can just make a bowline or another loop. I can just loop it around there, and that's not going to slip. I've got another bow here which I've made previously, and I've just thinned out the stock, and you can't see it very well there. I've with my knife carved a hole in the stick. That works too, but obviously that just takes a little bit more time. If you can get a fork stick, it's a little bit faster. So I'm going to take this cordage from this bow and put it on this new one. Got my bowline. It's a very small loop, just enough to go over the stick. And one of the reasons why I like these bows rather long is it's going to give me a good space to grip and hold on to. All I'm going to do here is just create a little notch on the back side, the back of the bow. So the cord is running this side. Just kind of it works naturally for this stick. I'm just going to create a little notch on this back side here. Okay, now I'm done with my knife for a while. Let's put that away. And you can see my notch there. It's nothing special. And I will create just 2 half hitches to start out with. Okay, so just tied that on with 2 half hitches. Now what I'm going to do when I get started is I'm going to wrap that around the bow. So it's nice and neat. I find that if you've got cordage flapping around, that's going to that can cause problems when you're spinning your spindle. But then, to adjust the tension of this, I'm just going to hold onto the cordage. You'll see in a second.